France will be expected to brush aside Gatland's ageing Wales and Paris. Mine is Mark. Let's talk rugby. This one is France versus Wales, and on Saturday, 18th of March, in the Stade de France. Kickoff time is 2:45 GMT, so it's the middle game on Super Saturday. The last six between these and the Six Nations: 2022, Wales 9, France 13; 2021, France 32, Wales 30; 2020, Wales 23, France 27; 2019, France 19, Wales 24; 2018, Wales 14, France 13; 2017, France 20, Wales 18. So, not even really like a converted try between them in most of those games. One score decided it, but most people are expecting it to be a bigger margin this time for France. In terms of the odds, the bookmakers kind of make that pretty clear. France are 16-1 on favourites, Wales 16-1, and the draw is 80-1. Now let's have a look at the teams, starting with France. So the backs are unchanged. We have at fullback Thomas Ramos. Right wing is Damien Penaud. Centres Gaël Fickou and Jonathan Danty. He did really well against England, like just coming straight back into the team. Left wing, Ethan Dumortier. The halfbacks in Romain Ntamack and Antoine Dupont. Front row is Cyril Bay, Julien Marchand, and Uini Antonio comes in at tight head. The second row is Thibault Flamand, and Romain Taufi Fanua gets a start. Back row then is unchanged: Francois Kroos, Charles Olivon, and Gregory Aldrit. The bench, we have Pieto Mauvaka, Rita Wardi, Sipili Falatea, Bastien Charleroi, Sekou MacLeod, Maxime Lucy, Yoram Mofana, and Matthew Jalabert. On to the Welsh team then. Fullback, Louis Rees-Zammit comes in there. Right wing is Josh Adams. The centres, a new pairing, George Norton, Nick Tompkins. Left wing is Rio Dyer. Dan Biggar comes back in at 10. Reece Webb is there at 9. Into the pack then, we have Wyn Jones at loose head, Ken Owens hooker, Thomas Francis is tight head. Alan Beard switches to 4 with Alan Wyn Jones coming in at 5. The back row then, Aaron Wainwright comes in at 6. Justin Tipper continues at 7, and Talupe Faletau is there at 8. Onto the bench then, Bradley Roberts comes in. Onto the bench, we have Gareth Thomas, Dylan Lewis, David Jenkins, Tommy Reffel, Tomas Williams, Owen Williams, and Lee Halfpenny. Okay, so let's have a look at the caps that the two teams have. So in the backs, France is 247 to Wales 361. Forwards 265 for France, 636 for Wales. Starting 15s, 512 from France, 997. That's massive for Wales. Bench 105 to come on for France, 232 for Wales. Total is 617 for France and 1,229 for Wales. Okay, so looking at the two teams then. So for France, Willemse, he's out with hamstring injury that he sustained against England. The backs are unchanged from that record win at Twickenham. Antonio does return in the pack after a suspension for that hit on Herring. Taufi Fanua, as I said, he replaces Willemse with Bastien Charleroi coming onto the bench for them. Big question is, can they reach the same heights again as they did at Twickenham? Like, that was just a magic performance from them. A lot of times you see when teams hit those heights, there's a drop off the week after, which may give Wales a chance to make this a lot closer than most people are predicting. another thing for them as well is that their next competitive game in Paris will be against New Zealand in that curtain raiser for the Rugby World Cup. So they'll want to, finish off here in the Six Nations on a high. They still have a chance to win the championship as well, depending on how things go in Dublin later. They'll want to get that bonus point win and give themselves every chance to retain their title. They will be expected to put up a big score against Wales as well. In terms of Wales then, Liam Williams and Scott Baldwin, they're both out injured. Dan Biggar comes back after injury. Lewis Rees-Sama is in at fullback with Halfpenny on the bench. Mason Grady and Joe Hawkins, who were the centre pairing in Italy, they're both left out. And in their place, George North and Tompkins are there in the centre. Alwyn Jones is recalled to the starting team. Bradley Roberts also comes onto the bench. And then we have Owen Williams drops to the bench to make way for Biggar, with Dafford Jenkins also on the bench. Who is it? Talupe Faletau. He'll win his 100 cap in this game, so big congratulations to him. Plenty of Centurions in this Welsh team. It's a hugely experienced team, but you kind of wonder where it's the development in terms of Gatland. Maybe he's decided to stick with those who served him well in the past. That's really the only thing I can think of. He's made a ton of changes yet again. There's no real continuity in the team at all through the Six Nations. There have been changes every time, and no real rhyme or reason for them. And the only thing you can think of is it's almost like Gatland is using this Six Nations as extra warm-up games for the World Cup rather than treating it as the tournament that it is. Although, he's had great success in the tournament, I don't think he would disrespect it in that way. But it looks like he's having a look at the squad rather than picking teams necessarily to go out and win and to try and find a settled side. They are the most experienced side we've seen this Six Nations, and the only other sides that would have competed with them were previous squads where he brought in the older guys. But if you just look at it, 1,229 is a massive amount of caps, and the four of the pack have more caps together than the entire French 23. So hugely experienced. Do you have a few guys in there with only a few caps? They have nobody in the kind of middle ground of kind of the 20 odd cap area. They're going to be looking to slow the French ball down, I think, not let them get quick ball that they use as devastating effects against England. Probably want to make the breakdown a huge mess and just make it, so that the game is at a much slower pace. It would be an absolutely massive shock, I think, if they won this one. France, should really take it out. And yeah, kind of overall, we're seeing one team at their peak of their powers in France with Wales, the other team, still really trying to find a direction.